This idea of letting go allows us to create space for what's new. However, if the frequency of letting go is based in a faux type energy, it will have us gripping and holding on and so afraid of loss that we don't allow ourselves to open to what's next.
Welcome, bienvenue, bonjour to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. For women who desire to awaken their heartfelt desires, trust themselves fully, and connect with their soul's purpose through beauty. On y va. Let's go.
Hello, bonjour. This is Tara Marino. Welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. I believe this is episode 72. 72. That seems like pretty good. Pretty good. I'm really excited. And finally, we are starting to do these podcasts on video. So you can find us now on YouTube, where you'll be able to see the podcast live on video if you prefer that, and or always the audio version will be available. So I'm very excited for this. If you are watching us on video, you will see that I am sitting in a very special room. I am wearing a cashmere gray V-neck sweater, and I'm sitting on the floor. And the room that I'm in is our lounge right outside of our bedroom, which was originally, when we built the house, going to be a nursery. And after 5 IVF cycles, it was revealed to me in a lot of deep, emotional, and intense conversations with my soul and with the soul of this baby that she would not be coming into the physical world. And so we brought that chapter of our lives to completion. And I have yet to decide what I'm going to do with this lounge. So currently right now, it is a yoga meditation room for me. And I'm excited to see, as things continue to develop for myself personally and professionally, what this room is really meant to be now. Which brings me to the conversation that I want to have today inside of the podcast, which is beautifully allowing things to come to completion. So you may or may not know that we are going to be hosting our final live Elegant Femme event next week, November 28th and 29th in Scottsdale, Arizona. We actually do have a couple of tickets left if that's something that you're like a last minute kind of girl and you're like, I want to be in this experience live. I think we have 2 tickets left for this event. I had my very first live Elegant Femme event in 2010 or 11, and we had 38 women in the room. And I was told it takes typically like 3 to 6 months to plan for an event. And I think the very first event I gave us 6 weeks, which is very Tara Marino style. When I decide I want to do something, I do it. It may not be perfect, but it is perfect for me, the way that I fly that way with the energy. When I know that I know that I know, I step into that co-creative space. So we had our first Elegant Femme event, and now we're having our final Elegant Femme event. And it's called The Final Chapter. And I want to get clear. It'll become more clear as I share after the event, because I have some pretty big announcements that I'll be making live at the event. So I'm going to keep those secret for now. But when I first made the announcement in March of this year that I was going to be retiring from live coaching, it brought up a lot. It brought up a lot for me. It brought up a lot for the Elegant Femme community. And it also brought up a lot of questions of what exactly does that mean? And today I had a client say, please tell me that the Femme Types are still going to be around and that there'll be even more of them. And yes. I am retiring from live coaching. Elegant Femme is going to be bigger than ever before. And I will be gifting myself the opportunity to participate in aspects of Elegant Femme that really do take the Femme Types to the next level, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and really bringing them to life in new ways, which I'll talk about a little bit more today because I have some very exciting news to share. The reason I'm bringing that forward is because having the courage to bring things to completion is a big part of your beautiful soul-led life, and it can feel very scary. The idea of bringing something to completion, especially something that you've loved, especially something that maybe has been on your vision or on your heart to experience inside the physical world, and it's here. So whether it's anything, right? Let's play with this a little bit. Whether it's a price point that you had for your packages if you're a coach, whether it's a relationship that you know has come to completion, whether it's an identity. Maybe you're getting ready to step into a new identity as an author, or you're bringing something to completion, a program if you are a coach, or anything, right? There are so many things that we bring to completion consistently. It can be behaviors, it can be certain experiences in our life, it can be relationships, it can be habits that we have. And in my experience, especially when we are bringing something to completion that we've loved. So for me, I have loved coaching inside of Elegant Femme Live. And again, I'm not going away. Not going away. I'm going to be participating in bigger ways. And yet for me, what became really clear is that my energy is being called elsewhere. It's being called into our beauty line. It's being called into our fashion line. It's being called into the book and the expression of myself as an author, and really allowing myself to participate in bigger ways and allowing my energy to go to bigger places. That being said, it's bigger for inside of me, right? Not necessarily bigger for everyone, just for me. I know where my energy is being called. That being said, the idea of letting go of something that we've always wanted, or that we enjoy, or that is really actually good, or that we're really good at, or that we really even like, but we know inside that there's more. This particular piece for me is what I find we really require courage around, because it's easy and it's tempting to stay in things that we've always wanted, or that we like, or that we're really good at, or that even are pretty good. Like they're not so bad. So if you have found yourself saying, like, there's a little knowing inside of your indie femme type that something is like needing to change, that you're bringing something to completion, and yet you have this feeling and you find yourself trying to talk yourself into, well, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. You know, most people would really love this. I always wanted this and now it's here. Like, what am I doing? Am I crazy? And all of this. Then this podcast is definitely for you. So here's what I want to share. It's really important that as we bring things to completion, we honor a specific energy and frequency. And I'm going to share with you the contrast. So we talk about letting go, right? We talk about letting go when we bring something to completion, letting something go so that we can create new space for what's next. Typically, we are taught a frequency of letting go that actually can create inside of us a fear of loss. And this particular frequency, if you're familiar with the Femme Types, and if you've heard me talk about the FauxTypes before. So the Femme Types, the Indie, the Frenchie, and the New Yorker, these are the three aspects that we all have that really support us in higher levels of growth and evolution and unlimited receiving of more beauty, more pleasure, more abundance, more calm, more relaxation, and really feeling into the fullness of our feminine in a way that allows us to increase our capacity to receive that which we desire in all ways. That's the basis of the Femme Types. There are also FauxTypes. FauxTypes are immature, unactivated Femme Types that try to protect us and keep us safe with where we are and unknowingly limit us from our next level because they're focused in black and white. They want to know, is it right? Is it wrong? They're afraid of not having 100% guarantee, so they create limits for us unintentionally. So the opportunity is to transform these FauxTypes into Femme Types to access all of our power. So when we talk about completing something and moving into our next unfolding, this idea of letting go allows us to create space for what's new. However, if the frequency of letting go is based in a faux type energy, it will have us gripping and holding on and so afraid of loss that we don't allow ourselves to open to what's next. So here's what a faux type energy and frequency around letting go might look like or feel like. An immature expression of letting go is based in loss. And if you think back to when you were a little girl, or even the imagery of a little girl that doesn't want to let go of her doll, right? She's afraid to let go. She's afraid she's going to lose something. She holds on tight, like she covets it, right? The idea of letting go in that scenario is based in the frequency of loss. I'm going to lose something. I'm going to lose love. I'm going to lose my doll. I'm going to lose my friend, right? It's just a black and white idea of, if I let this go, the frequency is just loss. And that causes grief, and it causes sadness, and it causes upset. And then the faux types come in and want to protect us from that feeling. So we just hold on. We contract, we restrict, we hold on for dear life. We cannot receive, if you're watching me on video, you can see my hands. If you're listening to me, my hands are squeezed into fists. We cannot receive when we're like this. Right? The indie femme type is the femme type that supports us in increasing our capacity to receive. If we are closed, we cannot receive. There is no room, there is no space. And yet, when we operate in the vibrational frequency of letting go from a faux type, this is what happens. We're afraid of loss, so we close, we hold on, we restrict. If we move into the frequency of letting go from a femme type opportunity, we gift ourselves permission to bridge this old understanding of loss, which has us grip and hold on and tighten, into a surrendered state of letting go, which allows us to compound as we move into the next state. It allows us to move into a space of transformation, knowing that we get to bring all of who we are with us into the next state of opportunity. So letting go no longer becomes, I'm squeezing, I'm holding tight, I'm going to lose something. Letting go now becomes a surrendered state, an open state of this or something even better. I'm choosing to bring this to completion, allowing myself to bring with me who I know myself to be, all the beauty that I've already experienced, all the abundance that I've already co-created, all of the knowledge, all of the awareness, all of the evolution. I'm not letting that go. I'm allowing myself to transform and bring that with me. I'm letting go of the energetic frequency or the situation or the conversation or the relationship that no longer fits inside of the fullness of who I am. But I am not losing who I am inside of this transition. If you've ever seen again, I don't know if it's a meme or a graphic. I was talking about this in my call today with my VIPs for the event. If you've ever seen this drawing of a little girl where she has her teddy bear and she has a little teddy bear, and God, I think is the idea of who this person is reaching out its hands and asking the little girl to give over her teddy bear. And the little girl is like holding on for dear life. And behind God, in quotes, right, behind God's hands is this huge, huge, huge teddy bear, right? And it's this trust walk of like letting go of what you have outgrown and trusting that there's so much more. This is the surrendered state of letting go. This is what we're referring to inside of Elegant Femme when I talk about letting go, allowing ourselves to bring things to completion so we can create space for what's coming. And I love this analogy in this picture because there's this moment that we all have, right, where we know we're being called into a new level, but we don't know exactly what it looks like. We don't know what the guarantees are, which are none, right? There are no guarantees. We want them, but we know there are no guarantees. The only guarantee that we have is the feeling inside of our body that something here is being brought to completion and I'm being called into something new. And so this bridge that we all have the opportunity to move into is that letting go, where we're for a moment or moments free falling. Like we're in the divine unknowing. All that we know is that we know that we know that we know that there's more. And that in order for us to allow the more, we require to let go of what's no longer in alignment. Doesn't mean that the thing is bad. We could have very, very much loved it or desired it and enjoyed it fully. But we know that now it's time to move into a new expression, a new experience, a new opportunity of co-creating at the highest levels through God, with God, as God, in the immensity of our being. That's the let go. That's the surrendered state. That's the mature definition and opportunity inside of the femme type conversation versus the faux type that says, I am so freaking afraid of letting go. This is what I know. This is my guarantee. I like the black and white. I'm afraid to move into the surrendered state of the gray because I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am. I don't know how people are going to react to me there. So let me just hold on for dear life over here. Those of us that are devoted to this conversation of living our beautiful soul-led life, no matter what, walk through, move through consistent levels of completion every single day, bringing things to completion, thoughts, ideas, behaviors, everything. And yet, when we're being called into a true next level, when we start to have that feeling of like, oh boy, here we go. Things in my life are changing, and I'm a yes for this. I find that being very consciously aware of bringing things to completion is a really beautiful way and place where we can allow an acceleration of the space, an acceleration of a union with the new frequency, an acceleration of us with our vision that creates this beautiful, sustainable momentum for us in experiencing more and more of what we desire. So what I'd like to share with you today, all of this is what I'd like to share with you today. I'd like to invite you to consider what in your life is being brought to completion and how are you responding to that? Are you in a state of faux type energy where it's black and white and fear-based and you're finding yourself moving into contraction? And if so, can you allow yourself to consider the femme type conversation inside of this, which is a surrendered state of letting go? What's beautiful about this is when we are being called into a surrendered state of letting go so that we can create space and move into the next version, vision, experience of our beautiful soul-led life, we really require all three femme types. The Indie, the Frenchie, and the New Yorker require to be on board. We require to be on board with them. So depending on your knowledge right now of the femme types, you may have found yourself defaulting all the time, or specifically at times of growth and evolution, into one femme type. We do this for a lot of reasons, often because we feel safe inside of one femme type, we've known it to quote unquote work for us before, or we see value in that particular femme type. There's nothing wrong with this. What I will share with you is that it's limited. We have all three femme types, so we can utilize and receive the support from all three femme types. If you start operating predominantly in one femme type, over time, you will find yourself exhausted and overwhelmed. It doesn't matter which femme type you're predominantly operating in. The other two are there to support you. So I had a client today say, I just retired and I realized I've been operating predominantly in my New Yorker femme type and I'm done with her. Like I need to now, she can't serve me right now. I need to now focus on my Frenchie. This is a really normal response that we have. This idea that, okay, now I'm going to focus over here. Now I'm going to focus over here. Again, focus is a beautiful thing. However, when it comes to the femme types, we are not receiving everything we can from the femme types if we intentionally or unintentionally put one on the back burner. So what I shared with this client is, I really hear you. It's beautiful that you now want to take a deeper dive into your Frenchie. However, I would not suggest you put your New Yorker on the back burner because she's there to actually support the integration of your Frenchie and bringing that which you desire, that which you enjoy, that which pleases you into the physical world. So the Femme Types work in union. It's a really beautiful harmonic orchestra when they are in alignment. This doesn't mean they're going to be in alignment at 33.3% every single day and every single moment. There are certain times where we will lean into one Femme type more than another, purposely and intentionally. What I'm speaking about is a default of predominantly operating in just one Femme type and not allowing the support and the power that comes from the other two. So I've been thinking about this a lot, and witnessing myself on this journey and conversation in the Femme Types for 2 decades now, right? When my first son, Mason, and again, I'm not going to go into the whole story here. You can listen to earlier episodes of the podcast if you want to know how the Femme Types were born and my own real desire and requirement to heal and how they've supported me not only in healing from a survival perspective, but really allowing me to go into a level of thriving with my beautiful soul-led life. So that's all there for you. So inside of my own expression and growth and learning with the Femme Types and knowing that this year things are really changing for me, I am bringing an era, like an era is coming to completion. It's the ending of an era inside of Elegant Femme and the beginning of a new one. So I've been looking deeply into my own Femme Types and having the conversation of how can I support women at a higher level with a deeper understanding of their own Femme Types without me coaching live, that will gift them a foundational perspective of how to consistently utilize and receive the support of all three. So, I have an announcement. We have created a brand new Femme Design Assessment. This is a 60-second assessment, basically a quiz, that leads you through a few really fun and very valuable, like very deep behind the scenes questions to help you see which Femme type you are predominantly operating in. What I love about this assessment and what we spent quite a bit of time and energy on is that it doesn't just tell you which Femme type you're operating in predominantly, it gives you percentages to let you know where you are with the other two Femme types. Now again, we are not looking for all the time 33.3%, right? It's not about being perfect inside of this. It's about an awareness of, wow, I'm predominantly operating in this Femme type, which means I'm currently not allowing the support of my other two. So in the Femme Design Assessment, you will receive which Femme type you're predominantly operating in, what your percentage is with the other two Femme types, and how you can begin easily, elegantly, gracefully allowing the support of the other two Femme types. You will also receive very valuable information as to how predominantly operating in one Femme type can have you overcompensating and not receiving because of what's happening with the other two. So you'll receive really beautiful feedback as to how you are currently doing you in the world, what your defaults are, what your default behaviors are, and what it is that you may unconsciously not be allowing in your life, and how you may be unconsciously making things harder than they have to be. So I'm so excited for you to take this Femme Design Assessment. It's brand new. So we're going to include the link in the show notes. It's elegantfemme.com/FDA. F for Femme, D for Design, A for Assessment. So elegantfemme.com/FDA. Once you take the quiz, again, you're going to receive immediate feedback, which Femme type you're currently predominantly operating in, and how you can receive support from the other two. In addition to that, you will have the opportunity, if you would like, to take it a step further and see how I, on a daily basis, move into aligning all of my Femme types. So I have a process that I created years ago. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, called the Femme Flow process. And it was my answer and my response to the to-do list, because I found that the to-do list was making me crazy. So much there, never done, never felt fulfilled, never felt satisfied. I would write things on the to-do list just to cross them off so I could get a little adrenaline boost telling myself that I was a good girl. But it never really was sustainable or worked. And it left me feeling overly addicted to the to-do list and at the same time always in void. So I created something called the Femme Flow List, which is a really beautiful, easy process to assist us in a bookends of our day, where I connect with my indie Frenchie New Yorker AM and PM, and then also flow through a beautiful structure with these femme types that's super organic and authentic to our feminine flow. I love this. Every day for the past 20 years. Okay, not every day, mostly every day, mostly every day. Again, remember, it's not about perfection. So you're also going to have an opportunity if you choose to step into the Femme Flow List, and the Femme Flow List is brand new. Brand new, brand new. So even if you have taken the Femme Flow List in the past, this is brand new. A brand new Femme Flow is available and is happening, and it's really, really special. So, welcome to the brand new Femme Flow List. I'm excited to feel you, to see you, to support you inside of this conversation about where you may be operating inside of your femme types. And if you're finding yourself really being called into new levels of expression inside of your beautiful soul-led life, what I invite you to consider is something we say all the time inside of Elegant Femme, which is a beautiful life starts with a beautiful day. And we have a tendency to focus so much on the life that we're building, in that we forget that a beautiful day is what compounds into the co-creation of a beautiful life. So my intention in sharing all of this with you is for you to feel the confidence to connect with your femmes on a daily basis, to have the conversations that are true inside of your heart that will really propel you more and more, yes, into the beautiful life that you're being called to experience, by allowing yourself day in and day out to have a beautiful day, knowing that those compound into the co-creation of your beautiful life. And that's what the Femme Flow process will do for you. So, a lot of things. Let me know how you like this episode. Let me know what's coming up for you around completion. Again, we will be having our live event at the end of this month, so next week. And if you're like, I need to be there live, this is what the whole conversation is going to be about. Day 1 is bringing things to completion, and day 2 is all about a new beginnings. So allow this conversation to start to open inside of you. See what's being brought to completion. See how you're currently relating to it. And are you relating to letting go from a place of a faux type, fear, constriction, fear of loss, or the femme type energy and frequency of a surrendered letting go that creates more space, more momentum, and more confidence as you move into your next phase. And of course, please go take the brand new Femme Design Assessment and let me know how it is, how you feel, what you've learned about yourself and your femme types, and know that the Femme Flow List is there to support you on a daily basis. So leave a review, please. Let me know how you're liking the podcast. If you are seeing us on YouTube, please let me know. We're going to be getting better and better at this with the video, with the quality, with all the things. So let me know how you're liking it. And also let me know if there's anything that you want to see or talk about or have me talk about on the Beautiful Soul Led Life podcast. And I love you. Have a gorgeous, gorgeous rest of November. You're going to be getting this. This will be dropping the day after Thanksgiving in the States. So you might have some material coming up after Thanksgiving, after you've been with your families, after we've all been with our families, where this conversation about bringing things to completion might be of real service. So if so, let me know. And I will see you back here next week, next Friday, 11/11, so we can drop the next podcast. Thank you so, so much for being a woman who's devoted to living her beautiful soul-led life. And I will see you next time.
Thank you so much. Merci for listening to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. I would love if this message served you, that you support it and share it with other women who might benefit from really having their lives in balance with their femme types. And if you can leave a comment, do a review, I love reading every single one of them. And I would adore if you could take a snapshot of yourself wherever you listen to this episode and post it on social media. My Instagram is Elegant Femme 1, and I'd love to see you, share you, and just celebrate with you as you are moving into creating, experiencing, and claiming your own beautiful soul-led life.